Okay, Mr. Peterson, whenever you're ready. There we go. I will share the screen with you.
Okay, yes. Make that bigger.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we need to pledge the flag first.
You can read the meeting announcement part first.
Okay, I'll read the meeting. This is a special meeting is held in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. This special meeting will be held to discuss the domestic hot water at the high school. There will be no public participation. The special meeting will be live streamed on the district's YouTube channel and recorded for later viewing. Prior to adjourning, the board will meet in an executive session for the consideration of the appointment, employment, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official per board policy 0166 item A. Pledge of allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
Yes.
Mrs. Wigman is absent. Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Okay, domestic hot water discussion.
So as you guys have received an update on this, I don't know if there's more questions. Mr. Code is here to help answer those questions. There's basically three scenarios depending on what the board's intention is. Basically, we have a situation with the domestic hot water supply at the high school. If that does, in fact, it's basically a boiler. If that gets tagged out due to the corrosion and the issues we're experiencing with it, we're basically not going to have any hot water at the high school, which is the major concern, and trying to get that addressed as quickly as possible. So there are three options as we've worked with, Chris has worked with David Riley. There could be the board can declare an emergency and allow us to complete the repairs and bypass basically the bidding process due to the emergency need in the district. There is also a option to use Shook as the construction manager at risk to manage the project at about a $5,000 premium. Or the third option is to authorize to go out to bid. The concern with going out to bid will be that there's some design build services that would be included on top of the price that we are already at with state term pricing. So there's going to be additional cost to do the design build. And then it's obviously the timing issue of how long that will possibly take and whether or not we can't get that done over the summer, meaning that it could go into the fall when school is in session, which would be much more of a disadvantage for the students and possibly have to close the school in order to get the repair done at the high school. So I hope I captured that right. Chris, you can chime in if you need to, or any board members if you have questions. There are different resolutions based on what is recommended or what's decided, and then I can insert those so we can approve the appropriate response to this issue.
I guess I'll jump in and say that I know in the past when we've done things like the security vestibule at the middle school, we use the CMR model and we use Shook to expedite that project. It sounds like in this particular case, we could do the same thing and pay a $5,000 premium, or we could just declare an emergency and get the same thing done and save $5,000. Is that your understanding, Craig, or am I missing something?
That is my understanding as well. Yes.
Chris, is there any reason that we would want to go with Shook? Are they providing? I know they're providing, some oversight and maybe some warranty on the work, but in this particular case, is that worth the premium that we would pay to go with Shook, or would you feel comfortable if we went the emergency route and just did it absent Shook?
I'm comfortable declaring an emergency.
Using Shook is just an alternative procurement process. I'm comfortable. We tried to procure this using state term pricing initially. Reported out at the PI committee. Is not available on this. So that's how that. Everything else is still state term through their master agreement, just not the boilers.
And it sounds like going out to bid, it doesn't look like there's much advantage to that. You know, maybe somewhere if you went out to bid, you'd get lower pricing, but there's more work on the front end to put the bid together. And then you also have more delay in the whole process, which if the hot water system gets tagged out, then we're in a lot of trouble, right?
Well, and it sounds to me like that could even possibly stretch into the fall opening, and that's something we want to avoid.
The delay in the process is certainly would be the primary concern of going to bid. I did share with Craig earlier today that we're pretty late. It's May. I'm not sure that we would get good contractors to bid on it or to be the low bid. I would certainly be able to convince Relmec to bid on it. However, they might not be low, and then we would be stuck with a low bid contractor trying to get this done in a very short time frame.
Yeah, I can see that concern.
Yeah, and I guess I would look at it also that the amount of money, you know, $84,000 in the grand scheme of the kind of projects we do for PI, it's pretty low. So, you know, if we saved 10% and went through all that hassle, that's, you know, $8,400. I mean, it's, you know, in a district like this, a $50 million district, it's, you know, I don't know that the view's worth the climb to go through that much trouble to try to save a couple $1,000s, and you may cost yourself more in the long run if the bids don't come in low, or if you know, you end up with a delay and the hot water system goes.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'd rather declare an emergency and not have to risk any delayed start or shutting the school down after we start if it gets into the fall. So. Anybody else?
No, I like based on everything that's been said, I really like that first option to just go directly with Relmec.
Agreed.
Well, can we put up a resolution then to declare an emergency and get this done? Craig, you have a resolution there?
Craig, you're on mute.
Oh, it wouldn't take me off. Okay, yes, I do.
Let's see if I can make it big enough so I can see it.
Craig, do we need to make an amendment to the agenda though to add before we add this? Before we make a motion to add this?
Pardon?
I said, do we need to make a motion to amend the current agenda to add you know, an item for voting before you actually vote on this item?
Yeah, right. I just wanted to read the resolution before.
I don't think you can add any new documents unless you make the amendment first to the agenda.
So may I have a motion to amend the agenda to include a resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll amend the agenda to include the attachment for a resolution of urgent necessity as attached, which is this resolution. So then motion on this item.
So read away, Fred. Go ahead.
Okay, a resolution to declared emergency and wait 1 second here. I can't move that up. Would you move that screen up, Mark? I mean, Craig, up the other way.
That's the top.
Thank you. It's a resolution of urgent necessity waiving competitive bidding and authorizing replacement of the Brecksville Broadview Heights High School domestic hot water system. Whereas the current domestic hot water system for the high school is approximately 25 years old and is in need of replacement. The high school domestic hot water system being of such a nature that it supports the public health of those using the facility, to ensure that the domestic hot water system replacement occurs prior to the start of the 2021-2022 school year. Whereas the district has determined that there is not sufficient time, availability of equipment, or contractors to competitively bid replacement and redesign of the existing domestic hot water system, to ensure the replacement of the domestic hot water system has limited impact on the student population and school building staff. Therefore, be it resolved that based on the need to ensure hot water is available to all high school patrons in support of school operations, the Board of Education, pursuant to the authority granted by Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.46, waives competitive bidding and authorizes the superintendent to enter into an agreement with a qualified contractor and proceed with work as soon as possible, so that the high school domestic hot water system will function in compliance with current governing building codes and provide hot water to school building patrons without interruption to school operations. Is there any further discussion?
I think you need a motion, Fred.
I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Dosen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
yes,
Mr. Peterson,
Yes. Okay, the resolution is adopted.
Thank you.
yes, thank you, Chris.
Thank you
Thanks a
both.
lot, Chris.
Thank you both, Chris and Craig.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'd like a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
second,
Roll call?
Mr. Dosen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
yes.
Mrs. Wigman. Oh, sorry, Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Okay, we are now in executive session.
But Fred, sorry, you really should read the motion. That language.
I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize.
No worries.
Motion to enter into executive session per Ohio Revised Code 121.22, item G, for the purpose of to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing. Closing
Okay.
items. A, adjournment. May I have a motion?
We have to exit executive session first.
Yeah.
That's right, sorry. May I have a motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
So, second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dosen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
Yes,
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Item 4, announcement of meetings, regular board meeting, May 26th. And before that meeting, we'll have a executive session and a work session, I guess. Which is going to be first?
It's going to, Joelle, which one is it? Sorry, I forget.
So I was trying to unmute myself. We're having an executive session first where Lindsay's going to come and give an update on negotiations, and David Riley is going to come to start a conversation about our buildings that will be vacated in the fall of 2022. And then you're going to have a work session where Cindy's going to come and give you an update on the special education audit, and Bob's going to come to give you an update on the technology audit and where we are with those recommendations. And then we will move into the regular meeting.
We can do all this from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock?
We can.
that's why Mark asked for dinner.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't ask for dinner. I just said it would be helpful.
You said, I want my dinner. Give me my dinner. No, I'm joking.
I think that was a quote. Yep.
Yeah, no, you said it would be more efficient because it's going to be long. Go ahead.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be long, so dinner makes sense. Anything else?
Any other instructions for graduation, or will we get something?
I'm sorry, Kathleen, I'm gonna sign off. I need to go to a lacrosse game. So, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, take care.
Kathleen, Jen sent you some information on parking today. We are tracking, did any one of you, I'm sorry, I'm asking this question, but Jen said we're missing a gown. Did any one of you keep your gowns and not turn them in at the end of last graduation?
I sold mine on eBay, but is that a problem?
Well, then you don't get one this year. No.
I think I'm remembering Ellen saying something who just left.
Oh, okay. Well, we're missing one gown, but we delivered yours, Kathleen, I think, to your house today, and the other ones are going out. So directions on once you get there on how, once you go park, you'll see, because it's underground, you'll see exactly where the kids are going to walk in, and you're going to walk up right on the stage, which is on the floor of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Doors are going to, ceremonies at 3, doors are going to open at 2. We're doing the senior parade right before that. I don't know, Fred, did you hear back from Brian at all? Because we've got to get that information out.
I have not.
Okay. So the parade right now is going to start at the new elementary school. We're going to funnel the kids through there, through Blossom, and it's going to go down the same route it did and end up here at the high school. We're going to load kids on buses, and parents can follow the buses down in their cars. And take the kids down there on a bus, just because of the Indians game that's going to be starting later, just to alleviate some traffic concerns. But you can go right down to the stadium via the parking directions that were given to you today by Jen, and park and be underneath, and they'll direct you right to the stage. Tickets, we will not be able to access tickets for at least another week, and this is per Rocket Mortgage. It's all going to be electronic and digital. You will have your own personal link that I will forward to you when we get the links, that you'll have to go on there, and that's your access to the graduation ceremony itself. So once we have that information from them, we will forward it on to you and our families. We've let the families know that they're gonna have like a week to get tickets. They're gonna come like the week of the 21st. So it's their process. We've got to follow it. So it'll be real kind of late in the game. So make sure when I send you the link that you go directly to that to access your access there to the ceremony.
Anything else? How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr.
Roll
Dose,
call?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.